Wake up! God damn it.
Hey, wake up, goddammit. Hey, welcome to the Taj Longino Show. Make sure you download the official Taj Longino Show app available right now on iOS and Google Play. My guest, he's here in town, Naptown, performing live at the Helium Comedy Club this weekend. We're just doing this tonight or is this the whole weekend? Whole weekend?
I was just here tonight.
Just here tonight?
In and out, one night over. It's a
One night
robbery.
stay?
I'm not robbing y'all though. Y'all fucking around rob me. Yo, Indianapolis, y'all, I saw the N words with the ER.
Nap is
Yeah?
we're gonna get to that.
Okay. All
Yeah,
right.
yeah. He's a comedian, podcaster,
Yes.
media personality,
Keep going.
producer,
Keep
TVs
going.
and TV
Keep-
shows
keep going.
and movies.
Keep going.
And he's an author.
Keep going.
Oh, more than that.
Nah,
Welcome.
talk that talk.
Welcome, Clint Coley.
Yes.
Did
Hi.
I say that right?
Clint Coley. Yes.
Clint Coley. All right.
No, he just said Coley. Nope. Started up. No, I'm playing. I'm playing.
All right, man. So how are you feeling, man? How's Naptown treat you so far?
It was cool, man. I went out last night to watch the Pacers game. Hey, man, look, y'all gonna be all right. Y'all got a good team, But I went out to watch the game. Wanted to be around some locals, you know what I'm saying? I got wine drunk, and I just went back to my room and beat off. Is that too much? Are we not allowed to say that on?
Oh, man, it's just.
I'm just keeping it a buck, man. You ever have a nice hotel room, and you wish you was there fucking something?
Oh yeah.
Right,
Yeah,
so
we
that's
been
what I'm
there
saying.
before.
Like,
Yeah,
I
we
was
been
like, damn, I wish my lady was here and fuck something. I wasn't fucking nothing.
So.
He didn't know what to say to me.
Yeah.
He wanted to pause
But
me so bad.
one of the things I appreciate that when I was researching this brother is that we're fellow Geminis.
Yes.
And anybody who knows about a Gemini, you need one in your life. If you don't have one, you better go search the world, comb the earth, and get you a Gemini somewhere in your existence. You gotta have them. They gotta be, and they're gonna be in your top 5 favorites. You gotta have a Gemini in your, in your circle or somewhere.
Do you mind if I be honest for 1 second?
Go ahead.
I don't think that's true.
You don't think that's true?
Bro, everybody hates Geminis.
They do, but
I've never met somebody who likes Geminis. Even like I told you, like I get along with Libras. They hate Geminis. They just hate the fact they get along with us so well.
they don't understand the complexities that come with being a Gemini. We're misunderstood.
I agree.
We're passionate,
I
as we were
agree.
speaking earlier.
I agree.
Once we ride with you, we riding with you,
Right.
all the way. But at the same time, in the same breath, as we are riding with you and agreeing with you, when you're wrong, we're gonna tell you that right off top too.
Right.
So people think that's being two-faced or, you know what I mean? No, we just know how to adapt, adjust in different environments.
Niggas don't like that.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
That's just the bottom line. All right,
So-
we can say all the things we want to say. They still don't like it. We misunderstood. No, motherfucker, we just don't like you.
Yeah, and that's one thing about a Gemini. I'm gonna say this last point. We're gonna move on, but
Yeah.
Geminis, you either like us or you don't. There's no gray area when it comes to us at all. So you're right, But for those who are unfamiliar, let them know who Clint is. He's also from Philly. We're gonna get to that Philly talk. Eagles, 76ers.
No, I won't talk about it. Nah, can we skip that part of the interview? I don't mind talking about the Eagles. But
Okay.
the Sixers is
Is the process over?
it's not even that. It's the same thing every year.
Oh yeah.
I've seen the movie every year. Great regular season, go to the playoffs, win the first round, second round, you're out. They literally have done that the last 6 years in a row.
What do you think is the one? What do you think it is? Because
It's Joel Embiid. Joel Embiid is the best. He's one of the best players, if not the best player in the NBA. But he shrinks in big moments, and he doesn't have. He's not a big time. He's not a big time game guy, right? Like you need somebody who's a big time game guy, guys who shine in that moment. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like with any sport or any profession, right? Like I've seen comedians kill small audiences at the comedy club. Then it's time to go in like a theater. It's time to go in an arena. And you shrink up. It's a different, 100 people is different than 1,000 and over.
But you know what, you would think that it would be the flip side, right? When you're in more of an intimate setting, where you can see every face.
That's a harder show.
Yeah.
But that doesn't necessarily mean that everybody, like, all right, look, I'm more comfortable in front of a lot of people than I am in front of a little bit of people, right? But if I'm being honest, right, most people are terrified in front of a lot of people because if something happens or you bomb or whatever like that, it's one thing if 70 people see you. It's another thing if like 1,000 people see you bomb. That's a hard. That's a big army. You know what I'm saying? Like I remember, this is no diss. Me and JB real, we cool. But I remember when he got booed in Atlanta, and that shit traveled immediately.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? If JB Smooth got booed in front of 70 people, it's like nobody cared. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And kind of, it will be trending like Charleston White was today.
I don't even. You know what's crazy? I just found out who he is, man. I don't even. Yo, bro. I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I don't follow that kind of shit on my timeline, man. And when I say that kind of shit, right, like, I'm not like from what I know, he's polarizing. You know what I'm saying? It's not that he's saying anything wrong or right. It's you're making polarizing statements. The same thing that Kevin Samuels did when he was here. Polarizing statements. When you're a polarizing person, you thrive off that kind of attention. And for me, I'm gonna be honest with you, right? Like I just don't want that on my timeline. I don't have that. I don't have relationship gurus on my timeline. None of that. Anything that for me that does not contribute to black people being happy, I don't want it on my timeline.
Okay, let me respond to that. But you speak about these same topics though.
I don't. No, you don't hear me talk about relationships no more.
Not no more.
Yeah, you.
But
not
I've seen some.
Yeah.
It's still.
Yeah, it's a pod. Yeah, there was a podcast.
Yeah.
But if you notice that podcast really ain't been touched in God knows how long.
Oh, okay. What is it about the relationship side of things that you don't feel like you don't want to touch anymore?
I just don't care no more, bro. Right? Like, there's two things. Number one, I'm happy. Right? Like, I'm happy with my lady. I'm happy with my love life. I'm happy. Right? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm in a good space when it comes to, relationships, right? And then the second part is, don't nobody really know shit, bro. Like, I was out here giving my expertise and so let's start here. Okay. Advice from a Fuckboy, the podcast, was a podcast, it was honestly for men. And I was trying to make better men, right? If you ever listen to the podcast, I know the name is polarizing because it draws you in. But when you actually listen to it, anybody that's ever heard the podcast would be like, Clint not really a bad guy. I laughed at situations that happened in my past with women, right? But I also gave solutions and things that I could have done better. I take accountability and responsibility for my own actions. And I'm telling men, we got to stop sitting here talking about we matching energy with women. We're grown, my nigga, right? You know what I'm saying? We're not matching women's energy. We're going to be the bigger person. We're going to be the one to reach out when things go wrong. We're going to be the ones who we're not thriving and laughing and having fun and mistreating women.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So many times you see cats, they're excited or they happy or they get off on being mean to women. And
that's a whole nother.
But I don't support that no more.
Right.
I don't support that.
I just think when it comes to the relationship conversation, that's a conversation that can go on to the end of time. It can go on for eternity.
Dating in 2023 is trash. Bitch, dating in 63 was trash. Motherfucker had a whole family on the other side of town. Like, what are we talking about here?
Yeah, and I just think that this is what I'll touch on this and then we'll get back to it. But one of the things that I said that I think is the key component to dating, which don't even talk about, people shouldn't even talk about relationships in marriage. We just stick on the dating aspect, because if you date right, that clears up the relationship and the marriage part, right? So hold that thought. So what I said was, if people did better in the selection process during the dating process, then you minimize a lot of stuff that happens in relationships and marriages.
Let's take the dating spot just for 2 seconds, right? If there's better dating, right, the ecosystem is better. If I treat a woman right, like we talk, let's say me and a woman, young lady, we go out on 5 dates, but I don't do her wrong, I don't treat her wrong. We just realize we not a fit, and that could come in like a couple of conversations. We're not on the same page. Blah 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 blah. You won't say Clint was an asshole. You just like, yo, what happened to him? We just wasn't on the same. We wasn't vibing on the same page. But that woman is now, she takes that dating experience and saying, okay, the next nigga might have some sense, right? And then if all niggas have some sense, then we're gonna start getting women who got some sense. And that's really what we need to be focusing on. It's the ecosystem of dating. The problem is niggas is hurting women, women are hurting niggas, and then instead of us talking about it and being adults about it, what are we doing? We run to the internet. to bash each other. You know what I mean? Now I know I'm on my soapbox right now. I'm sorry, man. You know, this ain't the funny part of the interview, but no, nigga, like, let's keep
real.
it. Let's keep it
It's been
100.
real. Like I was saying, I said in another podcast. I said, people always only focus on the negative side of dating. They don't talk about how fun it is to be in love. Like when you've been in love before and you know what that really feels like, there's no greater feeling than being in love, and nobody's touched on the fun part, the fun aspects of being in a relationship.
Being in love is amazing. Being in love is top tier. Being in love is like, yo, the reason why being in love is better than because you got your best friend. You got your homie.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Y'all really that's your partner. You know what I mean? Like I hang out with you any day. I don't want to hang out with my niggas every day. I want to hang out with you every day. That's it.
So I want everybody to get an idea, for those who don't know, who Clint Coley is.
Oh, you asked me to say that, or giving you an idea?
Yeah, but just for those who don't know.
When you say give me an idea of who I am, you mean
like for those who are unfamiliar.
I mean, I'm a comedian. I thought we covered that at the beginning.
Yeah.
Like,
well,
y'all didn't. Y'all didn't.
It might be something else that you want to throw out there.
Your audience don't listen, motherfucker. Yeah, dog.
So
I got a comedy special out right now though. It's called My Edible Kicked In. It's on YouTube. We're at a little bit over 300,000 views. And we pushed it out like 2 months ago. I think it's going to reach 1 million. A lot of great feedback from the special. A lot of people like, yo, I ain't know who he was in the comments, but yo, it made it funny. That's all I appreciate. That's all I ask for. That's all I want. You know what I'm saying? Like, you to discover me and be like, yo, I'm a fan. You know what I'm saying? That's it.
What do you like most? Do you like being a comedian? Do you like being in the media space where you can give your point of views on different things? Do you like being an author? Which one of those do you like?
I think all of them have its separate loves, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm a stand-up comedian first, bottom line, right? Like that's how I got into business. That's gonna be here for the rest of my life. Other things, you should always have other things going on. I mean, what comedian these days now that you know just have one thing going on, right? You shouldn't just be beholden to doing one thing. You know what I'm saying? So like, I love podcasting. That gets to, I'm finally doing a podcast where I love doing it, right? Like it's not me searching for topics, right? Like we just sitting there and we have a conversation about music, and it turns into a debate, which turns into other things. Like I enjoy that, right? What else do I love? I love writing, right? Like I love, film producing and stuff like that, right? Like getting your ideas out there that you necessarily can't tell on stand-up. You can tell it in a film, or you can tell it in a pilot, you can tell it in, you know what I'm saying? And then as far as like author, I'm probably never going to write another book, you know what I'm saying? It was just time to write a book, like, you know what I'm saying? It was just like, you have a fuckboy, advice from fuckboy, you have the podcast, but the book is probably
the book is still available now, by the way. If you ever want to go read it.
Yeah, but the book is just like it was just something to do.
Oh, well,
It was just something to do.
That's the Gemini. Just straight
It was
honest.
just something to do. Something to do.
I know. I've also read that you opened up for Kevin Hart and D.L. Hughley. What has changed? What has changed in the comedy space, in your opinion, before COVID and after COVID? How things are different now?
I mean, first of all, I opened for D.L. straight through. Like I was his opening act. Kevin Hart, I just want to put out there before, like it was one show. It was back in 2010. So I opened that day.
Okay.
But it wasn't like I was an opener for him, and I just want to make that clear. You know what I'm saying? Me and his crew, we all know each other. We good. You know what I'm saying? It's just,
It was a one-time.
It was a one-time thing. I didn't do no arenas or anything like that. But the difference between comedy before and after the pandemic is more so just the audience. You have other things to do with your time and your money. You know what I'm saying? Going out to a comedy club, like, let's be real, right? Like going out to a show and stuff like that. A lot of people just ain't doing that no more. You know what I'm saying? Unless it's somebody you really want to see.
Yeah.
So it's like there's the super famous comedians that hey, he coming to town, I'm coming to see him. And then there's mid-level guys like me, right, who's trying to make that next step into being a household name. You know what I'm saying? And like, so we kind of like hit or miss. It's like, yeah, you want to see us, but it's like go see Clint or go get something to eat like with my family on Sunday. You know what I'm saying? That's the difference.
What has been one of the challenges for you in this comedy space?
That's a loaded ass question, man. Like, what are the challenges, nigga? Getting on stage is a challenge. You know what I mean? Telling jokes, being funny is a challenge. Everything is a fucking challenge with this. But the biggest one right now is, like for me, I used to open for DL. Just to touch on that, why I'm not doing it anymore. My show, The World Series of Spades, was out. It was like #1 on Amazon at the time. And I was like, all right, it's time for me to go solo. You know what I'm saying? That was always the plan. That was always the idea. You can't stay in your father's house for too long. But now that I am solo, right, and, I got an agent, I got things going on, it's hard selling tickets. That shit is not easy, right? The algorithm is different. People seeing your post is different. You got to make sure you're paying for ads. You got to, like, there's so many people. I probably not know nobody, right? But there's probably a bunch of people in Indianapolis who've heard of me. But guess what? They didn't know I was coming, right? You got to because you got to remember, right? People got to make a night out of what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? They got to get, your kids and family. Everybody got to get situated. Yeah, you got to. Yeah, it's a night, bro. And then it's also Sunday.
Who's your early inspirations early on?
I don't have any.
Not one. Not nobody.
No.
There was nobody out there you said, you know what? I can.
No, because I didn't want to be a comedian when I was growing up. Most comedians, we didn't get into this because we wanted to. It was kind of, it just happened.
And that was kind of like what happened with you?
I say that is exactly
what happened with you?
Yeah, like we all got in this business. Like, look, you get into the business and you start, it was your favorite comedians, right? So like, yeah, I love Chris Rock. That was my favorite comedian growing up, right?
Okay, now I usually don't cut people off, but I got to stop right here real quick. What is it about Chris Rock? When I tell everybody his greatest special, in my opinion, was Never Scared.
Yeah, no, for me it's Bring the Pain.
Yeah, Never Scared was mine. And every time I'm like,
smack him with a dick. Smack him with a dick. Smack him with a dick. Smack him with a dick.
When I tell people
dick
about that, they got some, like they either like Chris Rock
or you hate him.
Or they hate him.
Yeah.
And I never understood what is it like. I think Chris Rock is.
When you're a big celebrity, either they love you or they hate you. That's everybody. LeBron, Mike.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like y'all gotta realize there's only maybe 2 celebrities that I know for a fact. Right? 2, at least 2 that are current. Well, they're not living, but like, well, 1 for sure. Right? You really didn't find anybody who didn't like Michael Jackson. Right? It was either you like Michael. There was no love or hate him. It's either if you don't like Michael Jackson, something wrong with you. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just and I'm not a MJ stan, right? Like I'm a fan. Like So
are you Michael or Prince?
Neither. I like both.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's like
I'm Michael.
Yeah, because to me, well, first of all, that's the problem with black people. We always got to compare everybody, right? Like, why can't Mike be great and Prince be great?
Yeah, they both was, yeah.
And they're both great in their own right? Like, Prince plays every instrument. Mike don't do that.
See, I just had this conversation
He
the
does
other day.
But I'm just saying there's different. Right. Like Prince can play every instrument, but he can't dance or put on a show the way Michael Jackson.
Everybody gives you something different.
That's all it is. It's like, you know what I mean? It's different skill sets. You know what I'm saying? But I say that to say, Michael Jackson might be the only unanimous celebrity that everybody likes. It's very rare when you meet somebody at the top, like Kevin Hart. He was at the top, or he is at the top still. You either love him or you hate him. You know what I mean? Cat Williams, you think he's funny? You don't think he's funny. Yeah. Mike Epps. This is Indianapolis. That's a different story. But like, he ain't for everybody. That is. So with Chris Rock, he goes through the same thing. It's just you can tell. Like for me, if you like Chris Rock, I know what kind of humor you like. Like you have, not saying you're not stupid, but like people who like Chris Rock are pretty smart. They're smart.
Because you have to have a level.
Just because if you don't like Chris Rock, don't mean you're not smart. If you like Chris Rock, I know for a fact you like comedy that makes you think a little bit. That's it. That's all. It's not, you know what I mean? Like if you, and don't forget, right? Same thing with Chappelle. There's people who love Chappelle. There's people who hate Chappelle. It's just, that's part of the business,
like,
man.
What do you think makes a great comedian?
That's hard. I wish, because if I knew, I'd have it, right? Like,
I mean, you can work towards it.
No. I believe I'm great. By the way, like I'm talking shit. I am great. You watch me on stage, you can say that.
I believe you're naturally funny. Like I've watched.
I believe I'm great,
and I think you have a natural talent.
I believe I'm great.
I told my man that earlier. I said, dude, some people gotta force their funniness.
He did.
You know what I mean? And some people just have it. Bruce just has it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
He did.
So that's.
But yeah, what makes a great comedian? That's hard because it's like the only reason why I say this because every comedian is so different in their greatness, right? So like we just named, you know, Chris, Dave, and Kevin. They all have different styles, right? But they're all great.
Yeah.
Right? Like they don't all have one thing that makes them. You know what I'm saying? Like what they have, what makes a great comedian, honestly, is it. And you don't even know what it is. Everybody has a different it. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's it is like, okay, different. He got something. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
It's just everybody has a different it.
I just came into, I think his name is Ali Sadiq.
Let me tell you something about Ali. First of all, when I used to open for DL, the lineup would go, I'm first, Ali Sadiq, DL Hughley, or it would be me, a guy named Malik S, or me, and Bo. Long story short, though, I've done multiple dates with Ali. One of the greatest minds and storytellers of comedy I've ever seen. Hands down.
Yeah. Dude is hilarious.
Yeah, Ali. Yeah.
Right, the dude is hilarious.
I'm glad that people getting hip to him now.
Yeah, I didn't even know. And I saw one of the specials, and he said, "Oh no, I gotta go keep."
He's incredible.
Yes,
he's incredible.
Yes, agreed. So coming out of Philly, man, how's Philly shaped you into who you are today?
I mean, I don't be knowing how to answer that question, right? Because it's like where you're from is just shapes you, period, right? Like are you from Indianapolis?
Not originally. I was born in Atlanta, but I've been here most of my life.
All right, so but wait a minute. Where'd you go to high school at, bro? Where'd you go to high
I
school?
went to high school here.
All right, where'd you go to middle school?
I went to middle school here.
You from Indianapolis? Dog.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, but you know,
your formative, like, like let's have an honest conversation, right? Let's say I was born in Tampa, Florida.
Right.
I wasn't, but let's just say I was, right?
Right.
But I moved to Philly when me and my family moved to Philly when we was 5, right? But guess what? I got a Philly accent. I talk like a Philly nigga, walk like, I think like a Philly nigga. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Well, guess what? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like, for you, right? You say, oh, I was born. Yeah, you was born in Atlanta.
That's why I use that word.
But
wording is important.
You from here, B?
Yeah,
you from like nobody? Do anybody in Atlanta claim you?
What you mean? Like
okay, let's say
I still go back. When I go back, I still pull up to I just shot my documentary in my old neighborhood.
Okay, now do they remember you though?
A few people, but a lot of people moved away. A lot of people moved
that's
away.
The point, right? The niggas in my neighborhood, when I go back, it's like, yeah, people moved away, but that's everybody know like Clint from over here. You know what I'm saying? Formative years, so like.
And mostly everybody that's in that neighborhood is either gone or they honestly passed away.
Yeah. I grew up. So I was born in one section of the city, raised. I was there till about 7, and then we moved to another section of the city. That's the part of the city I'm from.
Okay.
That's just, you know what I mean?
Right. So when you initially got into, I've been in this thing since Blog Talk Radio. I'm not sure if you're familiar with Blog Talk Radio.
I remember that.
Okay. So what got you into the talk? What it was called back then the talk radio space, which is now podcasting. What got you in podcasting, and what do you think the future of podcasting is going to be?
My manager at the time, he was like, "We just need a podcast to just talk, and reach out to and get a different reach." But I think podcasting is going to be dead in the next 5 years.
Wow, I've not heard about. Okay, so why you say that? Why do you feel like that?
Because
everybody's doing it.
It's not even that everybody's doing it. It's all right. Let's have a conversation, right? Podcasting. Okay. I remember when rap. The reason why rap, R&B, or a lot of that stuff has declined is because everybody can have an album. You can legitimately put an album out on Spotify. You don't need a label. You don't need, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Which now opens the floodgates to everybody. When something is exclusive and everybody can't do it and everybody can't get one, then it becomes again, yeah, it becomes exclusive. It becomes, it becomes you don't get as much, but it's saturated with nonsense. That's the problem. It's not just, it's saturated with nonsense podcasts.
And then here's another thing I told. I used to get a lot of DMs, inboxes. Hey man, how you start the podcast, man? Show me what to do, what equipment should I buy? And the first thing I tell them, I said, look, if you're not willing to understand that you're not gonna get your money on the front end, and that this thing costs money,
Yeah,
The
podcast.
equipment costs money.
Costs
To
money.
market it costs money. And that money ain't coming necessarily on the front end because you're not selling a tangible product.
Right.
Don't even get started.
Yeah, I agree.
You know, and then some people are only doing this to save their careers. Some people are only doing this for other different reasons. They're not doing this because they found a niche and they loved it. Like I wasn't doing this. I was a rapper.
Yeah, okay.
I got pulled into this because of my voice or whatever. And then I said, I'll try it. I tried it and I loved it. I've been doing it ever since 07.
Mm-hmm.
Some people ain't here they're here really to kill, steal, and destroy.
I mean, yeah, I said that earlier. Just basically like you think this is about to be a means to an end and an easy way to get famous because you see so many people podcasting, blowing up over a viral clip because they said some crazy shit.
You get a few comedy albums.
Yeah.
Okay. Those are pretty rare nowadays. So what inspired you to do that, and are you doing another one?
No, I'm not doing another one. Okay. And I took the comedy albums off, or most of them off. There's one that I did with Helium called Tuesday Morning I did back in 2021. It's just another way to put your audio. I mean, you just put the audio out, right? Like now, if I'm doing a comedy special, I just released the audio with it. Okay. So my special, my edible kicked in. I just released the audio on all platforms just because it's just a habit. Some people just may listen to it. Who knows?
All right. Now I want to get to part of the conversation that I've been waiting on. I've been waiting. I want to talk hip hop. I want to talk rap. That is my area. That's my area of expertise, I believe. Also being an artist myself back in the day. It's the 50 year of hip hop.
Yes.
What's your opinion on the state of hip hop outside of what you said earlier?
What is my opinion on the state of hip hop?
Yeah.
It's getting bigger every year. Hip hop is now the number one genre in the world, I believe, or up there. Hip hop has come from something that was meant just on some it came out on a whim. It evolved. Hip hop evolved, and hip hop's going to keep evolving. So that's what I think the state of hip hop is evolution.
So being from the land of the spitters, being from Philly,
yeah.
What coast? I'm gonna put you on the spot here. What coast you feel like has the best lyrical MCs?
The East Coast by far.
By a landslide.
It's not even close.
Who are your top 5 East Coast artists of all time?
Artists or MCs? It's a difference.
Ooh, lyricists.
Come on, man. I can't answer that. Only reason why I can't answer that is because I that's something I should say for my own podcast. If I'm being,
You're not gonna give me.
But I'll tell you why. Yeah,
okay.
these not my. These aren't. This is not my
order.
They're not my top 5 in order. These motherfuckers. These are lyricists that I like.
Okay.
All right. So this is not me ranking them.
All right.
These are my guys.
Got you.
Lyrically, Black Thought.
Oh, that's interesting. When I say interesting, I was surprised that you named that. He named them the first one that came.
It's not
ordered. Right.
But he's from Philly.
Yeah. Black Thought is cold. I didn't want
Black,
to say that.
I'm just saying he's from Philly though. So you asking why I named him first?
Okay.
He's from Philly.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
All right.
So it's not. Yeah. Of course, Nasir Jones.
Okay.
A guy that I really like is Jadakiss lyrically. You just said you're not saying all around. You just saying strictly from the East Coast.
Yep.
Of course, Biggie. He lyrically was, and it's a lot of guys.
It's a lot of guys.
It's a lot of fucking guys.
It's a lot of guys.
I'm gonna go to God. I'm gonna go rock him. I'm gonna go to
Okay.
God. I'm gonna go God.
All right. So with that, I want to follow up with this. What's your definition of a true MC, a true lyricist, versus a rapper?
Well, so what I do is, for me, there's a rapper
Yeah.
and a hip-hop artist, right?
Mhm.
So a hip-hop artist can rap, but he also makes great songs, right? There's not a lot of lyricists who make great songs, if that makes sense. So
Right.
so niggas like Pharoah Monch, great lyricists, but most of y'all can't name me 5 Pharoah Monch songs, right? But that doesn't take away the fact that he's lyrical, you know what I'm saying? So for me, that's the difference. A hip-hop artist is like Nelly. He can rap. He's not a lyricist, but he can rap. Nobody would tell you Nelly can't rap. He not ass. Him and Black Thought should not be in the same sentence. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
He can rap, but they shouldn't be in the same sentence.
Okay.
He's a hip-hop artist. Same thing with Ludacris. He raps very well. He shouldn't be in the conversation with
You don't
Black
think he's a lyricist?
No, I'm saying
Okay.
but he's a hip-hop artist. He knows.
See,
he makes.
where you put hip hop, I will put Jeezy as a rapper, right? He's gonna give you.
But he's no. Jeezy's both. But Jeezy's more of a. Here's the thing. Guys who literally just rap are not hip hop artists. They literally just rap. There's guys. A lot of these battle rappers, they just rap. Name me let's take a battle rapper like
Loaded Lux. That's my favorite.
I love Loaded Lux. Give me some Loaded Lux music.
It's crazy. I got his albums, but I mean, I
come
can't.
on,
I
bro.
can't. Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
no. We like when we think of Loaded Lux, I catch you with the like that's what we think. You know what I mean? But and that's not no diss to them. But those are rappers, right?
Okay.
Now, guys who again, same thing with Black Thought, all of these guys. But then when you take out when you say, okay, these guys make songs, blah 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 blah. Then when you just focus strictly on the lyrics, then it's like, okay, who are these guys? And there's certain guys where it's like you know guys. There's certain guys that you focus more on the lyrics than you do their actual catalog and their music. So it's like, Fonte from Lil Brother, lyrics is crazy, but he doesn't have the commercial success that other. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it's very rare you find guys who can do both. Jay-Z, he's a lyricist and he's a hip hop. Like the reason why people herald him as the greatest. I mean, people. I'm not saying you do.
Right.
But the general consensus is Jay-Z's number one. The general consensus.
Right.
I say that to say, he's because he does everything well. Right? Hits, albums, lyrics. Like you can quote Jay-Z lines, quote Jay-Z songs, quote Jay-Z's albums. Like and he's a superstar.
Right.
So it's like
he's rare.
He does all.
He's rare. Nas is rare. DMX was rare. Rest in peace. LL is rare.
Right. Even guys from the South, right?
Yeah.
Jeezy is rare.
Yeah.
T.I. is rare. You know what I mean?
They don't rate
Cube.
T.I. When they talk about hip hop, I don't like the fact that T.I. does not get the lyrical respect he's supposed to get.
And when I made my top 50 hip hop artist list, T.I. is right next to Jeezy. They're like.
And I think he's above Jeezy when it comes to bars. Now Jeezy's good.
That's debatable, but I'm not. But
okay,
I'm not
so
mad at it.
Here's what I do, right?
I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it
because I'm an artist.
Yeah, I get it.
So when I listen to Nas, I'm picturing the words on paper.
All right, same here.
So I'm like, but when I listen to Snowman, no disrespect, I got snow
I
in
get
the car
what
right
you're
now.
saying. It's just, yeah, I get it.
It's
that's
a
not
big
diss.
difference.
That's not a diss.
The way the T.I. word plays and his delivery.
I think Jeezy, for me, right? I think, and here's the thing: this is why I don't like debating lyricists and stuff like that. And this no diss, it's not me,
right?
Saying I don't want to debate you, but it's like this is the only part of hip hop that's personal preference, right? Like this is the only. Yeah. It's personal preference, right? There's some guys who you'll like. Okay, prime example, right? I will look you in your eye and tell you that Pimp C had a better verse on International Players Anthem than Andre 3000.
Oh hell no!
You see what? But you see what I'm saying?
Man.
But you no.
Now,
but wait a minute. You're what you about to do? You're going to disagree.
Right.
I'm cool with that.
Right.
But that's where personal preference comes in, right? Because let's be real. There's no tangible evidence that you can make to say that he had a better verse than the other person. I'm not saying he did. I'm not saying he different. But for me, my bitch is choosy. Never ever fuck without a rub, but never. Yeah, to me, I like that better than typing the text that a girl used to. Not to say that that's ass, but it's personal. I'm making that point to say it's personal preference, right? Versus if I'm telling you a hip hop artist is better than one hip hop artist, right? I'm taking a lot of things into accountability. It ain't just your lyrics. It ain't just, you know what I'm saying? So when you say T.I. lyrically is better than Jeezy, I may disagree with you, but you're not wrong. That's not a crazy statement. That's what we got to start getting to in debates.
Now because
Because
hold on, not to cut your foot.
Go ahead.
Here's what we got. When they did Swagger Like Us, who do you have on that record? You had.
I don't even like the record.
But who did you have on there? You had the top of the top. who could people the industry consider? You had Jigga,
Yeah.
Kanye,
Yeah.
and who else?
I'm going with Kanye on that one. But that's again, you keep trying to debate personal preference. You can't.
But I'm saying like what? Okay, when
for
the
me,
way they saved, even though that was a T.I. record and he went last. I think he went last, and it showed when he dropped his.
I don't disagree, but that's what you keep getting me to argue. I'm about to argue with you. I'm not going to argue personal preference with you, right?
Okay, so that's
impossible.
Let's talk albums, right?
Okay.
One of the things you did on Instagram, which was
on
a
the
dope
podcast.
promo. Hey, I'm like this, right? I'm like this. And he said, I'm going to be in Indianapolis. I said, oh, shit.
Yeah.
I stopped the video right there.
Yeah, right. I be doing that shit all the time.
So
they hate that shit. They hate that shit.
So what he did, y'all, was he titled his video, right? That's a podcast. He titled the video, Top 3 Albums of 2020, Top 3 Albums of the Year.
Yeah.
And you're thinking you're going to get this list, but what he does, he's promoting the next few dates.
That's it.
That's creative. That's creative as hell. But do you have a top 3 albums of 2023?
I do, and I'm actually not going to give them to you because I am doing an episode about this. Okay. Like in the next day or so.
Okay.
But what we will say is, I will say, everybody asking me who had the best hip hop album, blah 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 blah. In this conversation, we're going to start the conversation off with Killer Mike. Like, you know what I'm saying? We're going to start the conversation off.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's not me. This is not a, we don't, I'm not telling you my list, but we will start the conversation with that album. Yes.
Do you have top 5 dead or alive? Well, you already kind of went. Well, overall, everybody, like,
so
top 5 dead or alive.
I gave a top 50 list, right? So I made a top 50 list. Before I tell you my top 5, and this is basically objective, not personal. When I tell you these top 5s, I took in these 5 things to account. Okay? I took in your impact and influence. I took in your lyrics. I took in your classic albums, which that's a whole nother conversation. I took in your charts, your commercial success, because that does matter. It matters. You can't say it doesn't matter. I'm saying it doesn't matter as much as other ones, like hip classic albums and stuff. But the reason why commercial success has to matter to some degree is because that does change like when I tell you my top 5, right? Objectively, all of these guys meet all 5 of the criteria.
Okay.
So like again, your impact and your influence, your commercial success, your classic albums, your lyrics. So I said commercial, and then it was, what was the 5th one? And it's your catalog. Oh, and your longevity. Okay. And your longevity. So like you can't if you're telling me, like, I'm trying to think. If you're telling me Big Daddy Kane is the greatest rapper of all time, or greatest hip hop artist of all time, I understand that for that era. But since hip hop has evolved, people has passed him, and he doesn't make. And Big Daddy Kane's my friend. He doesn't make music anymore,
right?
And he hasn't made music in a long time, or he makes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And also, his commercial success back then is different than commercial success now.
Okay.
Right?
Are we good? All right.
So I'm gonna give you my top 5.
All right.
1 is Jay-Z.
Okay.
2 is Kanye West. 3 is Drake. 4, hey dog, you can say hey.
I'm not.
Hey man, you can say hey. Hey man.
Go ahead. That was debatable. The other 2, I got you. I'm with you.
Jay, Kanye, Drake. Number 4 is Nas, which I might have him move up to 3 and replace Drake. And then, but again, I took in everything into account. And number 5 is Lil Wayne.
That's a fair list.
Objectively speaking.
Because Lil Wayne carried the industry for a period of time.
Listen, let's have this conversation. When you talk about lyrics, right? Lil Wayne has memorable verses and bars. Am I right or wrong?
Right.
Lil Wayne also had a mixtape.
Dominant. Yeah.
I mean, we're not talking just. He
Dedication
wasn't just
5.
Whatever dedication. I can't feel my whatever you want to use. He had a mixtape run on top of the albums.
Yeah.
He has classic. He has. To me, Wayne has 2.5 classic albums.
One being the Carter.
No, the Carter 2 and the Carter 3 are the classics. I think the Carter, again, you got to know what my criteria is for a classic album.
Trust me, I know. And I'm like,
what is it then, if you know what my criteria is?
You said impact.
Mm-hmm.
You said lyrics.
No, that's for a rapper. For a classic album, my criteria is different. So when we talking the Carter was a classic, and it's another thing. So I look at classic albums the same way I look at.
Man, I wish I had you. Pause.
Champion. But classic albums are like championship rings. All right. Now, just because an album to me isn't a classic, doesn't mean it didn't make the finals. Doesn't mean that it wasn't it doesn't mean that it wasn't great. Classic to me, it has to do these 5 things. It has to have impact. It has to have influence. It has to have moved the genre forward. It has to have a track listing of either 80% or better, right? And it has to be cohesive. And then last but not least, it has to stand the test of time. Now, wait. The Carter does stand the test of time, and it does have an 80% track listing. But when we're being honest, the impact was not the same as the Carter 2 and the Carter 3. The influence, people don't go back to the Carter and say, or other rappers don't go back, you may, but other rappers don't go back to the Carter and say, oh, that's a life-changing album. And I don't think the Carter moved hip-hop forward. The Carter 2 and the Carter 3 did. The Carter did. So, and then his half album is the Hot Boys Guerrilla Warfare. I don't know about. I'm on the fence about it.
Oh man, we need a whole. We might have to get on the gram together, man, and do a live or something about this.
Everybody wants to do a live, but here's the thing: here's the thing. When I give you my criteria for things, and that's the problem. When we argue hip hop, we argue R&B. When motherfuckers want to argue music, you don't have a criteria. Not saying you don't,
right.
But most of y'all do not have a criteria, and what happens is you just speak it from your heart, right? Yeah. Let me be honest with you. Lil Wayne isn't my favorite rapper. Drake isn't my favorite rapper. These guys aren't in my personal top 5s. These guys are not like, okay. I'll give you more in the top. I'll give you the top 10.
Okay.
This is documented. Number 6 was Kendrick Lamar. Number 7 was Tupac. Number 8 was Biggie. Number 9 was Eminem. And number 10, I believe, was Ice Cube. Now, I hate Eminem. I hate Eminem. I mean, and I'm not, when I say I hate him, I don't hate him as a person.
Right.
I don't like his music at all. He gets no spins.
Never. Not even old.
Back in when I was a kid, I was like, I didn't feel him. I just didn't feel him.
Well, you hard on him.
But wait a minute. Just because I don't feel him, he's also in my top 10, which tells you what? That A, I'm objective. B, I know the nigga can rap. C, I know he has a classic or 2 albums, right? The main one being the Marshall Mathers LP.
Right.
I know for a fact, I know his cultural impact on hip-hop. You cannot tell the story of hip-hop without Eminem.
Correct. So
that's me saying I don't have to like you, but if I'm giving you a top 5 or a top 10, know that it's objective. I don't like Eminem. Again, I do not like Eminem at all. If I had my personal top 5, he would be way down the list. But if I'm being objective and I'm being an honest person when it comes to music, hip-hop, I'm not going to say nothing blasphemous. Eminem is a top 10 MC, period. And here's the thing in my top 10. Anybody in my top 10? Yeah, okay. You know, me and your pub, we was talking, when we were talking off camera, right. You know, her main thing was, with the book, promote, you know what I mean, pump your shit, right? Which I totally agree. You know what I'm saying? But we can't sit here and say, I don't have no, look, that book sold, I think, 3,000-4,000 copies, right? Man, I ain't got no publisher, you know what I'm saying? Right. The thing is, let's be real. Do you know really what makes an artist? Do you know the sauce? I'll tell you exactly what the sauce is. You ready?
I'm listening.
One thing, the people. Most of the things that we've heard is by word of mouth. It had nothing to do with, sometimes it's promotion, but it's word of mouth. If think about a show like Netflix shows. How do they become phenomenons? Because of word of mouth. So a show like Squid Game, right, did great. Why? Because so many people were talking about it. When the internet is organically talking about it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
The hashtags, the conversations.
Right. So prime example, right? I'm a Larry June fan. How did I become a Larry June fan? because somebody put me on to June. And you know what? June music, the way it make me feel, made me want to put other motherfuckers onto it. And that's what it is, right? The problem is that a lot of these artists too, they not special, right? So I don't want to share your music. You not that nice, you know what I'm saying? You not somebody that I'm like, you don't give me that feeling that make me want to like. Versus other artists, you like, yo, did you hear that? Such as like.
And honestly, hip hop has been suffering, in my opinion, for. Don Tripp has been the artist that's given me that thing. Like, I listen to this dude every single day. Like, I go back and listen. Like, he's raw, he's real, he's authentic. His way he tells his story, and he only got a few subject matters that he touch on. And so for me, that's what I needed. That something that was gonna. There it is. I needed that thing again because for a while it was just another album, 2 or 3 songs on it. You know what I mean? Nobody's taking the time to really get back. So for somebody like Don Tripp, and he said Currency. They drop the album every month, and Consist can give you a project that, to my opinion, is solid. That speaks volumes, man.
Yeah, to you. Like, I'm not trying to be an asshole, but that's the truth, right? To you. Just like it is, like, look, everybody that I put Larry June on to don't like him.
Larry June is cool, but
but you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm a fan, right? I don't expect everybody that I put somebody on to be like, oh, you a fan. You know what I'm saying? Well, everybody that put me on to somebody doesn't, like, it's hit or miss, right? It is. It's just, that's just the, bro, that's just the nature of what it is. And we got to stop, like, it is like, okay. We talk about the best hip hop album this year.
Right.
Killer Mike is in that conversation, right? Well, guess what? Right? Nobody was really checking for Killer Mike. Let's be for real. I wasn't checking for Killer Mike.
He was on other things. He was doing. Yeah.
He was on his activist. Yeah. I wasn't checking for it. But other people kept saying, yo, this Killer Mike shit. Yo, this Killer Mike shit. Yo. Everybody started, and then it picked up steam. Now most niggas who know, or most niggas who talk hip hop will tell you that that's the album of the year.
Man, we talked about a whole lot of things. I got a few more questions. I'm gonna let you go. I know you gotta get ready.
Yeah, we got it. What's up, girl?
So, NFL, who you think's gonna win this year?
I mean, I'm an Eagles fan, dog.
Well, Eagles all the way.
It don't matter. Yeah.
NBA, who you think's gonna win it this year?
I'm a Sixers fan.
All right. So,
but if I'm being objective, I believe that the Boston Celtics will win this year.
Really?
Yeah.
They do the same thing to me. They get you already hyped up and they think they're gonna do something. Then
they got a really good team. Like they didn't have Drew Holiday last year.
If you could pick a GOAT in the NBA, who would it be?
A who?
GOAT.
It's Jordan.
GOAT for the NFL.
I can't, because like that you don't like. That's hard. I can't, because a quarterback does different things than a wide receiver, wide defense. Like that's hard. That's hard.
Hip hop GOAT.
I said, yeah. I mean, objectively speaking, it's Jason.
Well, we gotta go. Appreciate the time.
Thank you, man. Appreciate you having me.
Clint Coley, man.
No doubt.
Nap Town.
Wake up! God damn it.